Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg and this is...
Go Sleep Till Brooklyn, Matt Strange. And this is...
Too much wrestling today, Muir.
How's it going, guys?
Watched too much wrestling today.
I watched a lot of wrestling since midnight.
I'm sleepy, but I didn't watch any wrestling. It's just that I'm insomnia prone and Ruth sometimes has erratic sleep patterns. So when she's erratic, it just fucks me completely.
You don't deserve sleep, peasant.
The amount of times I've
With
had...
your paper hands.
Strange. I am. Fuck you. I am diamond-handed, you motherfucker. Don't you dare compare me to a paper-handed wanker. We're going to the moon. Daddy Elon's taking us to Mars. Sorry, we've been on the stocks, Morg.
I was very tired. I stayed up to watch the Royal Rumble last night, and on the whole, it was good. It was all right. No, that's unfair. Actually, no. Yeah, no. Actually, it was quite good. I think my general rule, I've mentioned this to you guys before we started recording, was I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed, but not in a bad way. I'm just the people I wanted to win didn't win.
It was good, but it could have just shone a bit more, basically.
Yeah, it could have been a bit better for me. Had Rhea Ripley and Daniel Bryan been the winners. Oh, there you go. There's your spoiler for the Royal Rumble. So let's shift on a bit. This might be the first time.
D-Bry ain't winning a Rumble. D-Bry's waiting to go to AE Dubs with his indie bros.
Oh,
sorry,
we wish.
Back over.
So this might be the first time you listen to our show, and as such, you would need to know that we rank our shows with a tier list, which is how we rank the individual matches in Dynamite and an overall score for Dynamite and the overall score for BTE and Dark. And Mr. Strange will now explain the tier list.
I do actually have some funk this week, which is in an unusual method, seeing as what you gave me for something which is coming after. What I'm doing today is tier list with shit tattoos that wrestlers have.
Ooh, this is bold.
Was this recommended to you?
No.
Because I just want to jump in here and say, last night when we were watching the Rumble, the Raptor said, "You know what Strange should do as a tier list?
Shit tattoos."
Yes.
Amazing.
Because we were discussing it earlier when we were watching Dark.
Yeah.
So is an S rank the shittest?
Shittest, but also with use.
Okay.
I'm going to try to explain as I go.
Okay. Carry on.
The rank match is our lowest rank match. It's the match that doesn't really matter. You don't really care. Maybe it's too short. It's just over. There's just not enough care there for you to be invested. Like pretty much any tribal tattoos that wrestlers have. Randy Orton's arms, bunch of other people's generic stuff. Just meh tattoos. We can't rank them any worse because they're not that shit. They're just
Goldberg's like barbed wire tribal tattoo. That sort of thing,
the stuff you're putting on the computer game just to dress up your Cordy a little bit more. From there, we move up to a C rank match. This is what we expect to be a good rank match. It's got to have enough character, enough skill to take us through, and we care about it. It's not amazing, but we care about it. Like Brock Lesnar's chest knife.
Mate, that is C. Bloody hell.
What? What?
What? That tattoo?
I'm not angry.
No, that tattoo is fantastic. Actually.
I'm not angry, Strange. I'm just disappointed. That is the S rank of shit tattoos, in my opinion.
No. I am not going to say a bad word about Bork. You can say a bad word. That's your choice, Bork. His tattoo is average to good. You are right, Strange.
Rolling up from there, we have a B rank match. A B rank match has that next level of good wrestling. It's got good story. It has to have story, and you have to care about it. But it's not going to blow your mind, but it's just match plus one. And our B rank shit tattoos is the clusterfuck that is Phoenix. Complete with giant fucking dream catcher over one side. His brother's scratches on an... He's like a bad collection of drawings.
Japan flag on the back.
Oh, has he got a Japan flag? Or he's just there.
Imperial? Not
There's
just
no-
Japan.
That's an odd choice.
Yes, mate.
It's kind of the opposite of what we want in a match. In our match, we want our story to be consistent and told through, and we get to see it. Phoenix's is just a clusterfuck of random ideas. Well designed, yes. Well put together, no. Rolling up from there, we have the A rank match. The A rank match is amazing. It's got character. It's got story. It's got everything you need. Probably a match of the night, sometimes a match of the month. And I'm giving them the A rank is to my new favourite shit tattooed human, Danny Limelight. Danny
Fuck his
Limelight.
ass. I thought Danny would claim it easily.
With both a big Spider-Man print and I am Groot written across his chest.
Yes, mate.
It's bad. It's corporate sellout. It's laughable, and I can't take them seriously. But if we're going for an S rank needs story in and out. An S rank needs to turn the fucking tides of things. An S rank match should be amazing. It should be drawn into character. It should be mentioned in promos. And who has an awful tattoo that's been promoted against, brought up, made all over the fucking internet, and we all went,
jam.
Oh. No, it's Cody's neck tattoo.
Oh God, of course. Not even jam that jam. No.
Not even jam that jam. It's been mentioned in promos and storylines.
Yep.
People have mocked him. He's tried to explain it for showing that he will do the work, but we all know it's just a trailer trash neck tattoo.
Oh, this has been a wild ride, Strange. When you pulled Bork out at sea, I was like, oh, where's this going?
Hey, there's just so much from there. The clusterfuck of Phoenix, the corporate sellout of Danny Limelight, and Cody going back to the... Cody, the corporate fucking Dusty Dubsy Dubman with his fucking carny neck tattoo. So that's our list. B, pretty shitty. C, good. B, very good. A, amazing. S, Cody's neck tattoo.
So, moving on. News.
Oh God, I need a sec.
Only one bit of news from me this week. Our boy Jon Moxley will be defending his IGWP heavyweight championship, international I forget the full fucking name for it. American Championship from Kenta. Was Kenta's name Kenta when he was in WWE?
No. I can't remember what it was.
Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley versus Japanese gimmick WWE man known as Kenta in his own country and very well respected.
CM Punk in
he's called CM Punk in WWE.
I think that guy had his moveset, didn't he?
Yeah. Common joke between us here and Morg is the fact that CM Punk, after not being allowed to use his moveset in WWE, from what I believe, just used Kenta's. But we know Kenta's moveset as Kenta's, whereas Morg knows it as Phil's. So here we are. But yeah, no, it should be a really good match. It's going to be very strong style, don't get me wrong. It is just going to be two men punching each other.
Yeah.
But Kenta has nuclear heat in America, in Japan, and Moxley is beloved over there. So he'll be the face role, you'll be glad to hear, Morg.
That's interesting. Nothing else, I don't believe. So, moving on. So, we haven't got a social media this week. But I have been asked by the Raptor to pass on a piece of information, and this is relevant to earlier on when you were talking about tattoos. Yeah. So when wrestlers have pieces of writing as tattoos, she likes to look up on the internet what it is. And Jungle Boy has a tattoo which is some piece of writing. But apparently, if you type in to Google Jungle Boy text tattoo or Jungle Boy tattoo, what comes up is Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt matching tattoo / fiction. Yeah, that's the silence.
It upset me greatly.
Yeah,
it's not what I needed in my wrestling show.
There's a comic off the internet which is I can't remember the name of the comic artist. I love him. I should be able to though. And it's remember, children, anything can be art. Except for what Jimmy drew. Extra fabulous. Jimmy drew Goku making love to Spider-Man. Jimmy has created the opposite of art. That's what this makes me think of.
So yes,
If you want nightmarish dreams, look up the Jungle Boy Marco stunt slash fiction.
yeah.
Gonna say it, but this has been a wild ride so far, guys.
So let's move on to something a bit more relevant. It's a fully AEW show today as well. So moving on to our reviews, we start off as always with BTE, or Being the Elite. Mr. Muir, over to you.
Muir loves this one. He loves this one. He was messaging me about it.
Mate,
he was
I'm going to struggle at this start bit because I don't love anybody in wrestling as much as I love Gallows. He just makes me laugh, okay? So this starts off with the Young Bucks in front of a green screen that is just Bucks, you know, as in the deers in the background. And then Gallows and Anderson come in, and then they just start doing Suck It out from behind them over their crotches. Go, yeah, we're bringing that back now, like we brought this back, and just doing the too sweet hand gesture.
I love him. I fucking love him. I'm a very laddie lad when I go to the pubs. I am more than capable of interacting with the most dick-headed of people, and being shit-faced and just continuously making 12-year-old dick jokes. Amazing. I love them.
Yes, mate. And then they go on about how they took Penta out for the Young Bucks. Like, and they're just like, the Young Bucks are like, oh, it was only one super kick. They didn't really do that much to us. Which made me laugh, because of how watered down a super kick is. And then they're just like, oh, we don't want to wrestle, we're just here to party and get a paycheck. And just all this other fucking...
He's not lying, though, is he?
No, he isn't lying. And then he wanders away with the Impact Tag Team belt waving in front of him like a dick. And then all you hear from off screen is, put away your cock, Gallows!
They're wonderful, magical beings.
And then it cuts to the Young Bucks waiting for the Elite Party, where they're staring at the scene, which they obviously can't see from the angle they're looking at. Which just made me laugh, because it was fucking stupid. Then they walk up to this tiny little jacuzzi pool, like, thin thing, which they're just, like, discussing what the
so
fuck
weird.
what this little pool is, which made me laugh. Then we got into the fucking fender bender, which was fucking...
Oh, yeah. I don't drive, but I've got to imagine hitting a van with another van involves a certain level of not paying attention.
Well, like I said to you at the time, they probably had Gallows and Anderson in the back of the fucking van.
So good! Dukes! Yeah, fair.
You know, distracting poor Brandon when he's trying to drive, like slapping him on the head and all kinds of other laddish things. And then poor Christopher Daniels just looking at the car that's got like the tiniest bits of rubber scratching on it. Then Brandon Cutler coming out to apologise for crashing into it in his Reinhardt hoodie.
It was such a minor little smudge as well. It literally looked like you could just rub that off.
He did just rub it off.
I don't know a lot about cars.
But you know, it's not a spectacle that you can put into BTE if you don't do that.
You have committed a felony.
They just make me pissed. They're just these two fucking carnies straight from the 80s, and I love it. It's what wrestling is to me.
See how much everyone loves them, though.
Yeah.
Like, they're properly dragging people into their bands. Maybe that's why Cody's hiding from them.
What, so he can stay corporate?
Yeah, exactly. We know BTE Cody's too powerful.
Yes, mate, he's a different character from corporate Cody. Then we moved on to Private Party with the Young Bucks turning heel. They're heel now. They're heels, guys.
Are they heel?
Yeah. Then we moved on to Chris Statlander kidnapping Jungle Boy, where he's like, you're being abducted. He just goes, oh shit! And then gets dragged off, which made me laugh.
I think they're trying to get Jungle Boy to have a bit more speaking and promo time stuff, because it's the one place he's been lacking. So let him have fun on BTE, and it's great training.
Yeah, give him a bit of character, get him in with Eddie, you know.
Eddie.
Then we moved on to Five calling Alex from the Spanish commentary team that's in the Dark Order. And then basically we pan around from the speaking Spanglish guys, which is everybody is just drinking the Kool-Aid. So literally everybody has turned to the Dark Order side.
Rising and Tony.
Yep. Then we moved on to the Dark Order that are obviously upset with their inability to hire the Hangman. First of all, they complain about how shitty the table is that's in front of them.
Because Alex was like, I'm going to break this table again, didn't he?
Yeah.
They broke it in one of their skits.
Then it moved on to Alex complaining that there was no bouncy castle. Then Silver just screams, "The boy needs to bounce!" Which made me laugh.
Oh God, Silver's 8 mermaids canonically.
Oh.
Yeah.
I also love the trying to make Anna corpse, which seems to be the new challenge. Anna! I
really liked I Ate the Mermaids, Johnny Hungy. And I was like, yes, just so calmly and sadly said.
Those poor Atlantic mermaids. And then, unfortunately, Colt Cabana did get the Coke and Pepsi, but unfortunately tendered all the Coke beforehand because he had a rough night. Stu was very upset that he didn't manage to get the chocolate, the life-size horse chocolate. But then they obviously decided to team up and just say fuck Five because it's all his fault, That poor one member of the group you all bully.
Good.
But then...
There's always... You need those weakest people in your group to make the strong ones feel better.
But then Colt rallies them. He rallies them because he knows what they all need, and then they all scream slumber party, but he was like, I was going to say dark orgy.
I love the Anna phoning her mum to get permission.
Call their parents for a sleepover.
Yeah, I love that. Calling their parents for the sleepover.
Oh, it was fucking stupid. It was great. So then it gets back to Statlander holding Jungle Boy hostage. She says that I think you need to evolve out of the jungle. Then she complains because the Menthos don't do anything because they don't have the right. They just have cans of Coke instead of the big bottles that you're meant to use for that.
And I believe it's also supposed to be Diet Coke.
One of them had normal Coke and one of them had Diet.
Right, okay, yeah.
But
I thought they were going to do the Chad thing of do it in their mouth. I was let down. That's why I was like, why are they sat in front of a drain?
That would have been great.
I love get out of my spaceship.
Yeah, then, so then we move on to the BTE champ thing, which was everybody doing the pull-up challenge.
Silver looked tired in this one, I reckon.
Yes, mate, because I think these were all being shot one after the other, one after the other. So it was probably like 5 a.m. when this happened. But Sammy won by holding himself up for like 2 minutes. Bloody hell, Sammy. Well done, mate.
Impressive.
Core strength is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be the next BTE challenge. And then we had the cut of Cutler being asleep at the airport, which for some reason they always like to show the man that falls asleep anywhere.
The fact he's got that power to sleep anywhere, I wish I had that power.
Oh,
I used to have that power, but,
I used to have that power when I was a chef, like you've got a 30-minute break. Wicked. I'm excited.
Yeah, 45 minutes sleep on the sofa in the,
But I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was a really good BTE. It's, got more of their friend interaction. We said that last week, though. It looks like they're going back to a bit more of the internal band stuff, and that really helps.
What do you reckon, then? Oh, sorry, go on, Muir.
It's alright. Well, it had the Dark Order, which are always solid, and then it just had loads of Gallows and Anderson just sprinkled in there, so that's good for me. But yeah, it was solid.
What do you reckon? B?
I think it's a solid B.
A B rank for fun BTE.
So
it was great fun.
Now it's that time for 2 hours of pain to get condensed into 5 minutes of Strange going through Dark really quickly.
Going from something that was worth watching to...
Yeah, I don't have a lot of comments on Dark, I'm afraid.
Fuego versus Miro. Fair play, Miro gave him some spots, but I'd argue that Fuego got more of a match than Chucky did out of him. Meh.
Yeah.
Jurassic Express versus Johnson and Solo. Actually, sort of alright. Taz was having a great time. Solid Jungle Boy solo start. The Solo Johnson hanging neck breaker move was really cool. I reckon they're going to be a tag team. Excalibur comparing everything they did to something Taz did made me laugh, but they're always ace on comms. Luchasaurus had a good hot tag and got in, and it was obviously solely there to get the snare trap over because I didn't know the snare trap existed until
yeah.
But yeah, all right. SCU versus TNT. Good
Solid.
pacing. Solid match, obviously. Mostly SCU. Fine. Butcher and the Blade versus Mabadu and Navarro. I've been waiting for Mabadu to come back. Why did they make it a squash match? Like the Butcher and the Blade always put over their opponents, and this was just like a proper squash for them.
Mm-hmm. And Mabadu took the pin as well.
Yeah, especially after Mabadu, last time he was on, he had like a fucking great exchange where Billy Gunn made him look awesome. Good thing in this match, though, Butcher's pump handle backbreaker and then lift again into slam looks amazing. That's new. But the avalanche choke slam looks shit. Meh. Phoenix versus Baron Black, probably the best match of this dark, I'd say. They weren't perfectly smooth together. There was always a bit of clumsiness in there, but Phoenix always gives the jobber a fence, and it's great. Phoenix actually missed a rope bounce thing. Didn't go once for him, but they rolled it back into some chopper
madness.
Just had some really cool bits and weird face ending for Phoenix at the end, helping him up. I booed at that. Booed hard.
We need more faces, Strange. We don't have enough.
More on people being faces later.
Another good match. Shanna versus Carlin King.
Solid.
Solid.
Yeah, this was solid.
I really like Shanna's. She got thrown into the ropes and held between the top and middle rope. And when Carlin ran at him, she just dropped. Really like that. Carlin did a second rope guillotine. That was cool. Bunch of cool stuff in this, to be fair. Shanna's pulled down from the corner into a spine kick looked harsh, and then she went on with that fucking brutal stomp.
Japan,
that was
mate.
A cool yeah, fair. Yeah, good match, that one, actually. Brit versus Havoc. It was a squash, and it was Havoc, who is Cody's first student's first match. As much as I can't really say I like the match, Havoc can sell really well. She's been learning selling. Facial expressions were great. Drop down, great, wherever.
Great for a first match.
Yeah, but it was a squash. But what more can you expect from your first walking in one? Santana and Ortiz squash match. I didn't even write down their opponent.
Match.
Oh, no, sorry, that wasn't their match. That was their promo. Don't worry. I'll come back to that description later. Abaddon versus Green Fox for Phoenix. Abaddon's improving. Not that we didn't love her before, but you could see her greenness. But it was a squash match, and I didn't care.
Now on squash matches.
Part of the show.
Abaddon, quickly, I just want to say, because I watched this, it's a squash match, but I went, no, it's Abaddon. She's the one I don't care about squashing people. Because
we don't need her squashing people. It ruins the horror gimmick. You want to see her as little as possible and her just come out and destroy random people.
But because of their weird scoring system that means nothing, they have to have wins.
They don't. They don't. They mean nothing.
Yeah, we know, but...
Nick Jackson. I watch a lot of horror movies, and I can tell you that the best way to use a monster is to use it sparingly. Jesus Christ. Watch some horror.
Not hard, yeah.
You good Christian boys, watch some horror. The best part of the show, Pretty Peter Avalon's walk-off.
God, I love
it. His insults to Brandy and I've forgotten the name of the other judge of the ref. Aubrey, Jesus. It's been
Come on,
not slept. I've not slept well. I do like how in AEW they've realised a thing that most men like me realise quite early on. You want to be careful with insulting and complimenting women because it can make you a misogynist. But you can be as gay as you want to other men, even if you're straight, and it's always brilliant. Peter's jacket was beautiful. Taz picked it up. And the playback for his weird little head nod thing.
Where he fucked up his walk. Beautiful. It's amazing.
And then he brought out Benoni, who looks perfect alongside him. And we were fucking talking about how good Benoni is when he's shown up. I think that's a great pairing, and I'm excited to see how that tags in with him having an old team and having grown past them. Brilliant pace break for an otherwise mediocre show.
This was the best part of the wrestling show. This was the best wrestling part of the show. Yeah.
Now we're on to the Proud and the Powerful match. it was against Ryzen and Werner. Ortiz doesn't get enough credit for how versatile he is, but then it was over.
Yeah, man.
Fabienne versus Conti. It was all right. It was all Conti, though, but I do like her moveset, even if it's a squash. She's working on a persona in the ring as well. Like before, like she put up a tweet at one point, like, I know I'm beautiful. I can't do a Brazilian accent.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. But now she's blowing kisses and such, like, great stuff. Great moveset. I liked her over the ropes, stretch, jobbing.
Shibata plus judo wrestling fucking moveset. Yeah. It's great.
Shame it wasn't a squash match, but otherwise, great demo reel. Ray Jazz versus 10. Ray Jazz won for most of this. I think the best part of this is, and I know we've been not mocking, we've been worried about the exploitation of Brody Jr. Being used too much. How much fun fucking Taz had with him on comms.
Taz is a proper dad. You can tell he's a proper dad.
I want to love anything like Taz loves comedy and comedy wrestling. Anyway, this match had limb work, which is good. The slingshot suplexing 10 does is great. But weirdly, Ray Jazz sort of kicked shit out of 10 for ages, and then 10 just sort of won.
Because they're trying to turn him face, obviously, because like the whole of Dark Order's turning face, and he's just not learned how to be a face yet. Because, he's quite a new wrestler. Yeah. Obviously, he was learning to be a heel. And now suddenly he's like, oh no, the gimmick's completely over. We've got all turned face. So,
just a weird one. And I was a bit distracted by how much fun they were having on commentary with a, 8-year-old. But I can't fault them. It was actually really entertaining. Why did Pillman come out to beat up a child with a lacrosse stick?
Oh, he's turning to Chaos Project. He's joining the Hating Kids stable.
I mean, if there's an entire stable about hating children, firstly, they need to get Chucky in because that was his gimmick on the Indies.
Yes.
I didn't hate it. I was just like, why is Pillman trying to assault a child? I get it, but...
This was a bit much for me, having -1 back for me, but I'm not a huge child fan, so,
Yeah, I'm another sort of non-kid person, so I was a bit... And commentary does distract me, as I've said before. So if I'm going to downgrade when Eddie distracted me, I've got to say that, -1 distracted me a bit. But yeah, Taz was good, and Taz held it together a lot more. I think it could have been worse without Taz.
I normally ignore commentary, which is often when you guys are talking about it, I'm like, I didn't notice. Whereas this time, I noticed the commentary, so you can tell it was interrupted. Like, it distracted me from the match.
Yes.
Then we roll into Velvet versus Maddie. It opens with Velvet's single leg lariat, and it's...
Mate, so good.
There was just this was solid, but there was something lacking in the match. I think it could be how Maddie moves. There was a point where she'd done some move, gone through the rope, and little -1 went, I thought she'd go for a springboard to there, and I was like, me too, mate. Me too. She just got out, went under the ropes, did a move, and got back in. It was solid, but there was just something missing from it, I think. Maluta versus Limelight. My top comment is, and this is where the tier list actually came from, I like to take this time to see how bad Limelight's tattoos are.
Well, it was longer than the match. Just walked down to it.
I can't have a comment on this match. It was over.
Yeah, this one was weird. I was like, a bit of Danny Limelight. This will be good. And then, just
what
over.
If you went, I want to see Danny Limelight, but AEW said no. Jasmine and versus Evilise. I didn't actually pay that much attention to this match. It seemed okay. The coolest thing I noticed was Jasmine did this move where she was in the Cazadora position, but then she properly dived through Evie's legs into a face buster, and that was fucking...
It was one of the few times that Cazadora looked good.
Actually pulled out really well. And I really fucking like that. Otherwise, it was fine. And then we finished with
Hobb.
Jake St. Patrick versus Hobbs, which went exactly how I thought it would do, as my first notice. 4 minutes remain.
Didn't spend a minute on that.
I think the entire point of the match was to show that Hook can do a suplex. Yeah.
Right, whatever.
Very skippable, Dark. If I was going to say, watch 3 things, it would be the Phoenix match, the
Shanna
walk-off,
match.
obviously, and the Shanna Carlin match. I reckon you could watch 20 minutes to half an hour of this show, however much that area is, and you would have missed nothing. 6 hours of Dark in it.
Yes, mate.
Low ranking Dark, like so much squash, so many just mediocrity.
Was it bad enough? Are we going to give a D?
I think it's a D because I don't think it's even worth watching. Like, apart from the pre-Avalon bit, but that's not even fucking wrestling. That was just a comedy skit, you know?
Yeah.
Having a full C rank show is fine when it's the main show because it's the show, they're going to be telling stories and blah, blah, blah. Having a bunch of C's and D's in your 2-hour optional extra be solely carried by a comedy section in the middle, and then to end with like 4 squashes in a row is just.
There you have it. Yeah, it's a D. It's a D rank Dark.
It's been rare. We've not had one of those.
Yeah,
in a while.
but they've usually managed to scrape a C. So moving on from that,
the main show.
The main show. So this one, I think I'm going to be a bit more positive about. I don't know what you guys felt, so we'll see how it goes. So on to Dynamite. JR, Shivani, Excalibur on commentary. We open with Eddie Kingston versus Lance Archer. Kingston wins after hitting Lance with a loaded back fist. What did you guys think of the match, and what score did you give it?
It was all right. Weirdly, like I had fucking sky hopes for this. I love Eddie. I've been the one sort of buffing Lance since his first come in. He sent away Jake at the start. Cool. We started with a lot of Japan grade chopper. Fucking Eddie took Lance all the way back to NJP Dub and AJP Dub, and it was great. The fucking choke slam over the rope was ludicrous. Lance did a camera slam, which was old school. I've not seen a camera slam in ages. Eddie is obviously always in character. That fucking character, his wobbliness, his expressions never fucking waver. He brought in the limb work, which is always a +1 for me. But it did feel a bit I go, you go to me. It lacked like any natural feeling exchanges. And as much as I approve of the shenanigans, the end came a bit quickly and a bit just out of nowhere. So it was good, it was solid, but it's not quite what I wanted or expected. So I gave it a C because as much as I enjoyed it, I've seen so much better from both of the other two.
I think this was a great disappointment, in all honesty. I think these two lads should have done a lot better with, I don't think they're given much time. And at the end of the day, everything seems to be rushed at the moment with Eddie. It's like he starts feuding with someone and he instantly has the match with them. It just seems a bit weird to me. Is it because he's their only heel? So they have to bust him through everyone as quickly as possible?
I mean, this Lance feud has been going since they had that Rumble, which was...
Has it though? Because he was mostly arguing with Pac and those lot as well. I guess he's arguing with everyone. I
think it's more Eddie's character is Eddie is the kind of heel that feuds. He's a fighting heel. Okay. It's the one good thing about him. He's a fighting heel, so he has to kind of feud with everyone and has to have multiple feuds going on. And I actually quite like that. That's one of the things I like about Eddie is that he has these multiple feuds and they all make sense.
It wasn't making sense. I was just like, oh, this could have done with a bit more.
But yes, time. I know what you mean. So the thing, what score did you guys give this?
Low C.
Interesting. I gave it a high C.
Oh.
I really enjoyed this. I thought there was some great brawling and a lot of great selling from both of them. The Raptor pointed out just how great the selling was. The other thing I noticed, and I'll be mentioning this again later because it was later that I noticed it, and I then went back. Which side of the walk-on did Lance walk out of, Strange?
They're not going to come out the same door, are they? There's a difference between being in the face role and being a face character.
Yes. It was more relevant to the one later, but me and the Raptor were joking about it, so I had to go back and go, oh, he did.
Oh, backhand you into the sun. Leave my heels alone.
Following on from this...
To be fair, he's a random destructive tweener who will fight anyone.
And tweeners actually usually are effectively come out from the face side, because you are Austin in his most heelish tweener days was a babyface.
You're bringing people down, but yeah.
So, moving on, Mox promo.
I fucking love this promo. I liked Meta Moxley explaining the plot and saying why things don't work. I thought that was... So this person's chasing this person, but now they're chasing me, and he's doing this, and now I'm having him... Loved it. Fucking...
I'm a simple man. I like my sex in the morning, so I start off my day well, baby piss.
It's really good Moxing.
Yeah, it was good.
Maybe I should give it an A, but I think it's a B because it was just solid and fun and meta, and I love meta.
So, I would like to give it a high B, because although there is a promo that relates to this later in the show that is better, and I believe this happens twice tonight, the second promo is the better one. Because of this one set all the groundwork, made that second promo even better. This was again something me and the Raptor were talking about. I thought this was a solid Mox promo, but it was kind of in a weird meta way a better promo. If that'll make more sense later. So then we move on to the Sting and Darby promo.
D.
I don't care. I just don't care. Is it the We Are Hoodlums meeting where everybody?
Yes,
that's the one.
They're the Hoodlums.
I felt a bit bad for Sting when he didn't break the window with that one baseball swing.
What we were saying is, why give him the room with the smallest possible windows rather than big windows, which would have looked so impressive.
Takes, and that was the best one. Is what came into my head.
I wasn't feeling this. It feels a bit very much never talk to me and my son ever again.
Yes, mate.
And it's getting worse, in my opinion.
I like Sting and Darby, and I did not like this promo. I did not think this was
That's
very
what
good.
I wanted to hear, Morg. That's what I wanted.
You're not very good.
Our gothic, spooky people who'd wear black in an abandoned building representative, and you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Should have been them buying surfboards to get ready for beach break.
It's not gonna happen.
If he doesn't come out as Surfer Sting for beach break, I'm quitting AEW. I'm going back to only watching weird indie shitters.
Yes, mate.
So, following on from that, Jericho and MJF with the rest of the Inner Circle versus the Varsity Blondes. Jericho wins with the Lion Salt after hitting the Judas effect. What do you guys think of the match? What score did you give it?
Just give me a second. I've got to remind myself of the match. For some reason, I'm brain dead over this. Starts with MJF comedy scared face. He's fucking wonderful. I love him. They put the kids over, which is great once again. And we've got that little bit of a beef between Griff and MJF from the previous days.
That was good.
And MJF's doing all the classic heel things like he always does, and it's all solid. MJF's got this really good skill where he can panic wave his hands in about 0.2 of a second between moves to show that he's unprepared. Like when somebody comes in with, I think it was one of Griff's clotheslines or crossbodies or something, and he probably goes, no, and waves his hands.
He's just modern day Flair. He's fantastic.
The blondes looked really good in this. Pillman's through the ropes fucking kick worked remarkably well, and Jericho pulling off the apology moonsault for last week's moonsault
was great.
And his timing on that Judas effect to catch Pillman off the ropes was wicked. I gave it a C. I don't think I'll get particularly blew any boundaries in any overt way, but I had a good time watching this match. It was solid.
It was really good. I enjoyed it. I really liked the storytelling in this, and I thought it was really good. Just them just showing off what twats they are. Really good work. And yeah, the Judas effect was probably one of the best ones since he hit the clown. And that moonsault was fantastic. But, you know, we all know Jericho can do the moonsault. He just fucked it up once and people, you know, must bully.
Last week wasn't a good week for moonsaults.
No, it wasn't, mate.
Yeah, very simply, I really enjoyed this match. It's another high C for me. I really enjoyed this Dynamite overall.
I think
just
the best way to put it is
really
it's good Dynamite. Just good.
really good fun match. Like you said, they put over the blonde. They made this is the team that has made the Varsity Blondes look dangerous, and they still won. But I mean, you said about putting over the youngsters. Well, that is Jericho's job. But
he's been doing it since the start of AEW.
Yeah,
you give him a face or some faces, and you'll have a great match with them, win, and they'll look awesome. And
it doesn't matter if Jericho loses; he's also in that save. So that's why Orange Cassidy beating him means so much for Orange Cassidy. Means fuck all to Jericho.
He doesn't care
because he's still Chris Jericho.
He's still a hardcore mid-carder.
He's still the Painmaker. Moving on from that to an absolutely phenomenal promo. So that tells you what I thought of it. This is the one that was brilliant, but enhanced even more. And it was the Raptor who pointed this out. It was enhanced even more by Mox's promo earlier. And this was the Pac promo. What did you guys think of it?
Aren't you jealous of Pac's apartment?
What, his giant, like, empty apartment where he has loads of space?
You know, have you ever seen that picture of it's a front room and it's just a TV in front of a sofa and it says men will live happily like this and there's nothing wrong? That's what Pac's apartment is. He's got a cable machine in the corner, TV, and that's it.
That's all he needs.
I'm jealous of his weird northern fucking probably £3 a month apartment. Anyway, moving on. Yeah,
goes down hunts.
I actually didn't like it as much as... Sorry, I just heard what you said. I didn't quite like it as much as some of his other crazy ones where he's screaming and spitting and it cuts a bit more, but it was still really good. His Beyond Gorilla, the people who do his work over in the UK, are phenomenal.
They are,
and they know exactly how to place him, how to use him, and how to let him go. Just really good. And you're right, it ties in well with the Moxley one before.
So did you rank it? Because I actually unusually ranked this promo and I gave it an A.
Oh, you gave it an A. I did not rank it, so I'm going to be the decider between you and Muir. But now Muir's going to say he didn't rank it either.
I ranked it as a B because I'll always mark for Pac, sorry. And the thing about it is I prefer where he's going a bit more crazy. I prefer the more crazy angle.
I think I'm with Muir on this one. I'm not saying it's bad, but...
No.
I'm going to give it a high B. We're going to have a second high B.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
It's more of a facey promo to his normal I am crazy heel promo.
Yeah, I think that's the... so moving on from a high-paced promo that woke you up to the man with the most soporific voice. The Raptor turned around to me and went, oh God, I've got to try and stay awake for the rest of this. And this is not because Shaq is boring. It is because he has the most... That man should read books to people to go to sleep.
Insomniacs should use his voice.
Yeah, in fact, strange. This will solve your problem. Shaq promos. That'll solve your insomnia promo. His voice is so soothing. He has a lovely voice. It's not a good promo. Shaq calls out Cody.
He calls him a little punk twice and calls him a little girl.
Yeah.
We should tell him off on Twitter. That's misogynistic.
Yeah, it was not a great promo anyway. But anyway, what did you guys think of it?
We're doing the Cody bit as well. Is this all in one
I was going to move that into the next bit.
All right, okay.
My comments will be regarding that more than this.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote
so after that,
interesting enough.
Cody Rhodes and Arn Anderson in-ring segment. What did you guys think? And did you score the whole thing?
Did you guys know that Cody is going to be a dad?
No, I didn't.
No, he's going to have a kid.
I also didn't know that Britt Baker was a dentist.
Yeah, you know.
These important things you learn.
Cody's got good bants. When he's let to just be weird little it's Britney bitch Cody, he has a great time. Went on a little bit and I got bored. And obviously it was Velvet. There was no need to build it up like it wasn't going to be Velvet.
Yeah, you didn't need to try and be a surprise.
Velvet's okay on the mic, and it ended pretty well, but this was long. I think Shaq lost it, and I got bored, and I gave it a D.
I kind of feel sorry for Velvet. I don't think she should be tied into this because, just feel bad for her because what is this going to be, a tag team match? Is it going to be an intergender tag between Shaq and Jade Cargill versus Cody and Red Velvet?
Yep.
So a completely green wrestler and a non-wrestler versus two people who can be wrestlers. That always works really well.
Worked well once when Bam Bam Bigelow carried a man, I can't remember his name, to a
Lawrence Taylor.
match. That's
I was
it.
being facetious.
Yeah.
I was mocking them.
Yeah,
I know you were.
The only other one is the Stephen Amell, and we know he's a massive wrestling fan, and he gets it, and spends a lot of time, and is an American warrior like superhero.
As much as I don't enjoy celebrity bringing in and things, Stephen Amell was at least in, I want to say, Green Arrow?
Yeah, he was Arrow.
Where he did a lot of stunt fighting and a lot of flipping about and shit.
Yeah,
Shaq is old as fuck. And Jade Cargill, although she looks fabulous and is a literal Amazon, unless she has been training fucking
Stardom style.
I believe
they got Kagetsu backstage training her. Otherwise,
I believe the expression usually used is green as goose shit. We haven't seen her in the ring yet. She could be a prodigy. She could be an Anna Jay. We don't know.
Just imagine if Kagetsu came out with her, though, strange. As a trainer.
Don't tease me with the Prime Minister of my heart.
We'd be covered in the explosion from Strange's loins from here. Moving on from that.
No loins, it's soul.
It's
far too gay for me.
Kip and Penelope wedding promo.
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
I didn't mind it. I thought I mostly enjoyed it for Chuck's facial expressions in the background. Otherwise, I didn't care. You're right.
I think I know what rank this gets. It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, there we go. Good work. I'd forgotten it's all right. We've had a positive couple of weeks without the fully sad. It's all right.
It's all right. Yeah. Following on from that, Hangman versus Ryan Nemeth.
Rolf Ziggler.
Rolf Ziggler.
Hangman wins with the buckshot lariat. We'll discuss what happens afterwards. What did you guys think of the match, and what score did you give the match?
No entrance for Rolf. I thought that was going to be bad, but he actually got quite a bit into a bit more into it. There was a solid wrestling start into a good exchange. Piscato's so much better than Tope's. Stick with those. Nemeth not being obliterated is good. I mean, his brother, I want to say Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler, is really good friends with Trent and a bunch of the others of them. So it doesn't surprise me his brother's there. Big
mate of Cody as well.
Oh, is he as well?
He's part of that little clan with Cody and Matt Cardona.
I see.
Yeah.
Then Hardy came out and I started losing interest. There was a catch into a counter into a DDT, which was good.
That was cool. Big spike DDT.
Man, it was really cool. But otherwise, I could only just really sort of put solid enough. Like, good mid-ground filler match. Not where I expect my Hangman.
No.
Realistically.
I guess they wanted a good match for him.
Yeah, but I'm going to get mad afterwards. I'll wait to get mad. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed this match. It just got a C.
Exactly.
It was a C, but it was nice to see that it wasn't a squash. It didn't end up being a D. Hangman still came out. It looks like, though, as again, I was talking with the Raptor while we were watching it. It's much more difficult to do a squash match with a babyface, especially when it's your top babyface.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, even though Hangman is powerful, I don't think his character would work. Whereas you can get away with it with Mox, as long as the other person is such a snivelling little shit that he deserves it.
I dislike any squash matches, and I always think the opponent should get some fucking offense in. But No, this felt just like very much of like a mid-card filler.
Yeah, it was. So after that, we had Hardy comes down to cheer on Hangman. Then we had Hangman and Hardy in-ring segment. I'm guessing you're not going to give this a good. I didn't rank this. What did you guys think?
This. So you know how we've seen MJF doing some really clever, like Machiavellian manipulation.
Yeah.
And you know how we've got Don Callis, who's like a rich man manipulating like the upper ranks and stuff.
Correct.
What if we did it a third time with Matt Hardy with his inability to stick to a single fucking gimmick? I do not want Hangman with Hardy.
God.
Keep him the fuck away. This will piss me off if he goes down this route.
What we need. We don't need it. You know, I'm happy with Hangman with the Hardy Party and them turning heel. We don't need Hangman doing this sort of thing either. Why?
Does he really need to rotate round to another third party being interested in him?
Like, you know what?
Be Arn Anderson next.
You know what the problem is, don't you?
What?
They're stuck with Hangman. Not stuck with Hangman. They are stuck with where to go with Hangman. We all know where
Hangman's
this is eventually. We all know that Hangman is going to be the second man, first man in AEW to kick out of the One-Winged Angel. We know he's beating Omega. We know that's got to be the end of the story. We know the belt's got to go on Hangman. He is the logical choice. If you don't do this, it means Vince McMahon has taken over your booking decisions.
Or that Hangman's been injured.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. We know that it's the logical...
Should have put him in Dark Order. He'd been safe then.
Yes.
Because then a load of comedy wrestlers could come out and lose for him.
Completely.
And he could be like, oh, shucks, but we had a good time together, didn't we, boys? You know?
Completely agree. They by not letting him join Dark Order, they screwed themselves over, because now they haven't got anything for Hangman to do, and there aren't any stories for him. He needs to feud with Eddie.
Please.
I'm sorry. I know it's another person to feud with Eddie, but he needs to feud with Eddie.
Will I get to see Eddie? 1, beat people up, and 2, hear him promo.
Yeah.
I don't care if I get those 2 things.
But yeah, I really think that I was thinking about this. Just put him against Eddie. I know Eddie's tied up. Get Eddie out of those other feuds. Have him talk about Hangman's wasted potential. Cut that kind of heel promo and feud with Eddie and the family for a bit. You've got 3 different opponents that he can feud with, and you can run Hangman. You can have a good, solid, and Eddie's are going to be a great Jake the Snake Roberts, but from the heel point of view of being the guy who sets you up to take that next step. He
should have joined the Dark Order, should have been joking around and messing around. Then suddenly Go Ace comes up on the board and Tanahashi comes out and tells him comes here to save him because he's been fucking around too much and he knows his inner potential.
NJP dub backstory for you here,
right.
Morg. When Hangman was in the Elite in Japan, Tanahashi, Supreme Ultimate Dad, face hero of the people and bringer of good wishes, said that whenever the Elite are there, it's a pain in the ass, but not Hangman. Give him to me and I'll get the poison out of him. That was the promo, and I think that's actually verbatim.
Maybe they are just waiting for the New Japan deal to happen.
Fuck it, when Chucky T's at the wedding being obliterated and Okada
come down to save him.
I fucking shit my pants. Like,
I will mark out for that.
That'd be amazing.
The week where Tanner comes out to save fucking Hangman. Okada comes out to save the best friends, and Kagetsu shows up having trained Jade Cargill.
And
Ibushi just crushes Omega. And
you beat me to it. I was just going to go, and Ibushi comes over to try and turn Kenny back to the good side. So let's move on from something that made us sad to something that made me happy. I really enjoyed this. Dax versus Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy wins with the snare trap. I'm not going to go into it. There was an FTR post-match beatdown on Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and SCU and Top Flight for the save. What did you guys think of the match? What score did you give it?
Right, I'm going to start with a small fact.
Yes.
So, many, many years ago, when I worked at a pub called the Mare and Colt in Kidderminster with a good chef friend of mine who was my manager, Maka, we made a collection of CDs with awful but catchy music that we liked but made all like the younger, waiting staff awful. It was called the Dog Shit Collection. There were six CDs in the Dog Shit Collection. We had everything from the fucking Venga Boys to Bewitched on there.
Amazing.
On there was Jungle Boy's new intro.
Tarzan Boy.
Yeah.
Tarzan Boy. And all I've had for the past week, be it online, talking to friends, or just around the house, is people going,
The fucking phasmophobia, okay?
It's been stuck in my head.
Yeah, the crowd doing it was really kind of wholesome, though.
Yes.
Anyway, off to the match. Good strength off grapple start, really smooth and fast. It stopped for some good eye chopper you. It didn't let up in pace, but it wasn't overwhelming. Like I didn't find myself trying to catch up with it with the eyes, if you know what I mean. There was some great counter, strike, dodge, combos. Ax's slingshot Liger bomb has entered the realms of one of my new favorite moves.
It's
that was
beautiful, wasn't it?
It was just gorgeous. Near towards the end, you could see that they were tiring a bit because they'd just been at fucking, I'm not going to say 100%, but they'd been at 80% from start to fucking
And they're two
finish.
tag team wrestlers at heart, so you know.
And I've got very few notes because of how much I enjoyed this.
It was great.
I gave it a B, probably a high B for me. I had a really good time. Like the story was just built up enough. The match was great.
The sequence was fantastic. And then into the snare trap. Yeah, it was just great wrestling. This was a solid to high B. Yeah, from me. The only thing that was a bit silly was the gimmick. You know, the classic 80s chained together gimmick. But it's FTR, so I don't mind it.
It didn't interfere with the match.
No.
And we got Tully used pocket sand.
Yeah.
He did use pockets.
So, you guys gave it a high B. I gave it a low A.
Oh.
I really, really enjoyed this match. It was really good. This was solid.
Just shows how good Jungle Boy is. Well, we've always been saying that Jungle Boy needs to just drop the Luchasaurus.
To be fair, it also showed how good Dax is.
True. We know both of FTR are good, though, mate. As much as
FTR's ring ability, it's their promo game that's been slipping. But last week's promo with this one, with his, I may have silver in my hair and I'm just shy of 5'10", but I'll beat your ass and stuff. This is arguably where they should be.
Yes.
And I'm happy with it.
Okay.
They cut his horns off. They cut his horns off.
Yes.
That's the only bit that ruined it for me, was just the fucking... I think Jungle Boy's outgrown Luchasaurus.
Jurassic Express. I don't think he's quite... I think he's getting there. I don't think he's quite there yet. He needs another feud with MJF.
They all lack on promo game.
And Jericho,
all three of them lack on presentation, basically. Not ring skills, but presentation. And whilst you keep them together, you've got that trio's fun package that could be rotated through. As long as they sell the horns coming off as actually like coming off a mask and not that they put his living
removed his horns, yeah.
Why is Marco's chair gold? I'm down with it, but explain this to me. Like I'd have a gold chair if I was a wrestler, and I'd get like the Dazzler or whatever and slap people with it.
Probably nicked it off Cody. So moving on from there, Team Taz promo. Better than the other one. Still not great in my opinion.
Poor merch, lads.
Guys, this only hurts the company. We sell all this merch to pay our rent.
Guys, please. Yeah, just Tony coming out like, what the fuck you doing, lads? You're just hurting us here, boys.
I think I'm just bored of Team Taz. And I love Team Taz.
I'm bored of them.
I'm bored of it. I'm bored of them. I'm bored of this. And admittedly, we had the boring hoodlum. You are a hoodlum. Okay, son.
Fuck's sake, Team Taz. Go and feud with the Dark Order.
Go feud with fucking anyone.
Go and feud with the Dark Order. Go and feud with the Dark Order. I think that's...
Fucking anyone, Morg. Anyone.
Yeah, but booking on the fly.
Yeah.
Go and feud with Dark Order, because I think that's your best next niche. Because you can run through them, you can get a couple of wins, and then you can make 10 look like $1 million.
Yeah, fair.
Because you give him Brian Cage, and we know Cage can have a great match and can drag someone to a great match. So even though he's a bit green, 10 and Cage just leathering the shit out of each other, Yeah, I could deal with that.
Yeah.
Moving on from there, Britt Baker with Rebel versus Shanna. Britt wins with the lockjaw. Post-match beatdown on Shanna. Thunder Rosa for the save. Really.
Did she save her? Or
Well,
did she come out after she'd been stomped into the ground?
Yeah, well, you know, for
she was
the
only
save.
like a minute late, Morg. It's okay.
Inverted commas for the save. Did like Thunder being a proper babyface and going back to check on Shanna rather than chasing after the heels. But what did you guys think of the match, and what score did you give it?
It was all right, actually. Solid wrestling start, but pretty good. There was Shanna does a spirit bomb hand gesture, which pleases my inner weeb. I mean, she is dressed as Goku, so you know.
Do you expect it?
No picture-in-picture for the women's though, and that break really cost it its pace.
This killed it. Absolutely killed this fucking match.
I can't really. I'm not going to break it down because I think it was solid and I think it's a good C rank match. We lacked a lot of story. Rosa was late, so like, if somebody was like ran out to save me after somebody had curb stomped me into the ground and was afterwards like, "Don't worry, I'll stay with you," I was like, "She's broke my fucking jaw and you weren't here. Run her down."
Yes, mate. Go fucking kill her for me. You know.
I like your logic.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for coming back for me. You couldn't have made it out 20 seconds earlier.
Just covered in blood and teeth everywhere. Thanks.
Yeah. It was good, and I think it would have been better if we'd had a bit. If every match Brit wasn't just a vector for Brit versus Rosa. This is like the 4th or 5th one in a row of. I wonder if Brit will do something, and then Rosa will come out to her.
Yeah.
Wrestling was solid. Being a vector, I can kind of ignore. It just means that the match doesn't get the plot points, and the break killed the pace. But I still think it was a C. Everything in there was solid, good, and well pulled off.
I just feel sorry for them. It's just like, you know, they don't get much time as it is. You've got some of the best wrestlers they've got on, and you just kill them in the middle with a match with a break with no.
Well, I believe that
but
they do get picture in picture. It's just it seems to be that Fight TV don't like women's wrestling because we don't get the picture in. We get the picture in picture and everything else. JR said we're going to picture in picture. They showed some of it, and then we had a break. And I was like,
mate.
yeah.
All
so
I can
I'm
say
not.
Is, you know, like I don't believe in this. Oh, they must have more time because I believe that everybody should, you know, earn their spot on the roster, and these two definitely have, so they deserve their match, and then you fuck them like this, so what's the point, you know? That's my feelings on it. It's just kind of sad, really. You know, you've got some of the best talent they've got out there, and they just, you know, fuck it with that, basically.
So, following on from that, MJF and Sammy promo.
I like it. I like Sammy seeing through his shit.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
There are often times where I'm around bad, manipulative people who are just loudmouth, wankery people who work on pool. Like, yeah, I'm the nice guy, chatty person. I won't name any of them, but a lot of them go to LARP or have been banned from LARP. And it's nice to see that be seen through and stuff. I enjoyed this. I don't know if I didn't rank it, but I enjoyed this brief moment of Sammy being the only one who's not fooled, and the obvious fall apart it will lead to.
Yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly this MJF burn of going through all the Dark Order, manipulating all of them, has been some of the best storytelling that they've had. It's just great. And I love that Sammy's going face from it because he's been needing to go face for a while. So you know,
Sammy suffers from his moveset is a face moveset. His abilities are a face. He's Pac gets away with it, and one of the ways that Pac got away with it is he stopped doing lots of high flying shit other than the Black Arrow. I think
and he's built like a tank as well.
And
he has the advantage. He looks a bit more healy than Sammy does.
Yeah, but if you do it to Sammy, I think you'd actually hurt him. More. So yeah. Following on from that, Good Brothers and Young Bucks promo. Any comments?
I love the Good Brothers.
I can't get enough of the Good Brothers.
No, I'm with them.
Yeah.
The Kenny Don timing on that was cool.
Yep.
He sort of came in just before the moment.
I like how Don's getting more and more fucking like pads and stuff over his face because he's injured more and more. He's playing it off as.
I wanted Hangman to come out and stop Kenny. That would have brought me some joy. But
yeah.
yeah, good lead into a match that I enjoyed very much.
Yeah, I enjoyed this very much as well.
That's a good match.
Young Bucks and Good Brothers versus the Dark Order, and this is the bit where I actually noticed it was Dark Order came out of the face side. Bucks win with the Meltzer driver. Dark Order was Evil Uno, Stu, Reynolds, and Silver, so it was like, you know, A-list Dark Order.
The classic.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the match? What score did you give it?
I've got so few notes on this because I was just enjoying it. I'm sorry, boys. Someone else has to help.
We had an obviously solid start, and then arguably the restart of the match for the pacing was Silver wanting Doc Gallows, and the fucking size difference, and Gallows just fucking shit talking in.
The classic of, I'm going to reach out, then just puts his arm up an extra foot. I love it. That's a classic. I love it.
On his knees. Reynolds got a hot tag. It did end into him eating shit, but he looked fucking great when he came in. Reynolds is really being on show of late, on a different kind of skill to Silver. Bullet Club got to show off all of their old teamwork, all of their old NJPW. Yeah. The double outside leg pull spot where, you know, they grab the foot when they bounce off the ropes. I really liked. I thought that was cool. It was a great fucking hot tag from Grayson. Grayson looked amazing in this.
He always looks great though, but yeah.
Torture rack sit out face buster thing was a miracle of wrestling I didn't know I need.
Just cut across quickly. Future discussion point. Most underrated wrestlers in AEW.
All right, I'll do that.
Yeah, sure.
Gallows has some fucking ace strikes. They gave Silver his Rampage again, and I do enjoy Silver's Rampage, but they're getting a bit samey.
Doesn't need to be every match.
No. His deadlift backdrop on Nick, Jesus fucking shit.
Yeah,
he literally picked Nick up off the floor from, like, Nick didn't help and went straight into it. The fucking Beaver Boys combo move I will go on about all of the time. They really want to do that one powerbomb spot. We should kill Grayson. Yeah, I had a great time. And I can normally be critical of the Bucks matches for being a bit too all over the place. But I don't know if they got Carneyed back into behavior.
I think the Good Brothers are like the perfect tag team with them because you just get those settled down moments between it to calm it down a bit.
Yeah, but they're very much that bit more Japan, those big strikes, holds, and slams. Yeah. I gave this, I wrote a B, I think, because a lot went on in this match. Yeah, I had a really good time. I really enjoyed this, and they're really starting to show that the Dark Order are main event people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. B.
So for ranking, for the second time, I'm going to cut across Nick, because I gave this again a low A.
Oh.
So Muir will be the decider. You can make your comments about what you thought about the match, etc. I just thought it was really, really good. But you'll have the decider.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what you want for a main event. It is a 8-man match, which is normally a clusterfuck, which didn't piss me off. I didn't feel like it was going insane because of it. And I think the Young Bucks and the Good Brothers are the best things that can be together just because of how they ground each other. Because you get the little bit more excitement from the Young Bucks and you get more of the ground and pound from the Good Brothers. Yeah, this was great. I had a high B, so I'm not sure really what I want from this. But, you know.
I'm going to put in my maths here. I'm going to put in the mathematics things because there's been many a case where we've had a match that's a C and it's been dragged up to a B by the good story actually making the match make sense. This match didn't actually have any story in or out. It was just...
No, so it's a B then. Yeah, fair point. Well made.
Yep. I mean, not to put the match down. The match
was great.
I love this. I think Nick's right. Budget... the Good Brothers and the Bucks together are a fucking dimes combo. You've got all your flippy spot monkey shit, and you've got all that fucking old school punching, grappling, dickheadery that I love. Two different kinds of heel as well: the snarky heel and the more
classic heel.
Yeah, mockery heel.
Yeah.
Well, it was more of this.
Yeah. Please.
If you put this combination on Impact, I will actually watch Impact, Nick Jackson. But When's Impact?
They'll need to tell.
Tuesday,
They'll need to tell Don Callis.
Yeah,
So,
true.
but it's all right because obviously we know Nick now listens to the show. Maybe that's who's been listening all along.
That's what Stranger's Ransom is. But
Yeah.
It was always Nick.
Yeah.
Well, after he said he had to watch 6 Hours of Dark, I was like,
Yeah.
I knew it.
So, Mr. Strange, by the power of science.
Well, we've got a couple of Ds, a bunch of Cs, and a shitload of varied Bs. This was a B rank match. We had, as much as there were some downs, everything I'm thinking about are the highlights of this. The Dax versus Jungle Boy, that finishing match.
The last 30 minutes really saved this show. Like, it wasn't terrible, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like, oh my god, but those last two matches were real good.
But it ended on a proper build-up to the ending. And as they say in muster class, always end on a high note. You want to build up to that crescendo of positivity. That's exactly what this did. This is a good, solid B-rank show. We had story, we had heart, and we had... At least all the wrestling was good to great. We didn't actually have any wrestling that made us go...
Oh god.
Yeah, there was no bad matches.
No bad wrestling. B-rank show, a solid, and I don't have to add a dub addendum or anything like that.
So there you have it. That's our review for the week. Go watch Dynamite. This is a section where we would have questions. Again, unfortunately, we haven't had any questions. Please do send us your questions or things to rant about, ideas for Mr. Strange to do tier lists. You can send them to wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOp on Facebook, and WrestleOp1 on Twitter. You could also, if you really wanted, you could send us one of your favourite matches that we have not listed, and we will happily watch your favourite match and review it and give our thoughts. And on that very quick segue, it's time for our... We need some kind of fanfare for this. Favourite matches review, a thing we're doing just to take a... Perfect. A thing we're doing just to give us a bit of break from
this podcast.
High production values. That we're doing just to give us a bit of break from the discussions, and because we wanted to have an excuse to watch some of our favourite matches again and introduce each other to matches that we hadn't necessarily seen. And this week, it was one of Mr. Muir's picks, and it's a fully AEW show. This was Kenny Omega versus Pac 30-minute Ironman match. Mr. Strange, you're our play-by-play guy. Off you go. Right. What did you think of this?
I'm going to warn you, boys. I've got a page and a half of A4 notes on this.
Me too, mate.
Love them. Nick, just jump in whenever there's time. I am going to bring at the start that my boy was robbed of a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, it was.
We'll come back to that.
I miss crowds so much. I miss crowds.
That was one of my things. How much I miss crowds.
Makes a difference. We start off with a nice, slow assessing each other's start, which is always good. Yeah, a bit of grappling, a bit of back and forth and pushing. Our first proper little high spot is Pac's handspring to standing thing he does, which is gold, and his body snaps so fucking perfectly. Don't get me wrong, Kenny is great, but Pac's selling and body language when he's in the ring is phenomenal all the time. It's solid, it's paced, painful looking strikes. Bit of a wait for the first con hero from Kenny to the outside with Pac, but I'll forgive it. I think that's my only criticism of this match all the way through. We get so many amazing moments. Pac's moonsault off the apron, which is caught by Kenny, into the tornado.
DDT. Mate.
Phenomenal. The avalanche brainbuster. That over-the-rope cutter.
That is so fucking pitch perfect. I don't even understand how you can do that.
Me and Muir were watching this at the same time, and he messaged me saying that cutter. I just sent back a picture of my note because I'd written it. That's how fucking good this is. It's just a great exchange of pacing and impact. And this does what people always fucking forget with Iron Man matches. There's hardly any pins anywhere. 10 minutes in, and there's no pins. Not one. Then there's that Kenny fucking corner kick on Pac where he flies back like a broken spider. And then they go back into a bit of I chopper you, you chopper me, just for a bit of pacing, just bring it back down into, a little bit more. And he gets Pac up into the fucking one-winged angel. There's a bit of a try to counter. He pops him over and catches him into a suplex. It's just phenomenal. 16 minutes in, still no pins. And they're selling each pin like it would be the match winner. That knockout, that shoulder up is like finally a kick out in a real match for the one pin. They're adding weight to it as opposed to just being pins here and there. Then Pac does the chair for the DQ for the pin moment. And I've never seen that done in wrestling before. And it's great. And we get to see, it's been a while, how quickly Pac can do a black arrow when there's actually the roof on the building. When there's no wind. On.
It's just ridiculous. He just like floats up there and then just does this fucking shooting star press with a fucking twirl in it. It's just like, what the fuck was that?
The arrogance of him is great.
It is.
Probably the move which makes me oof the most in the whole thing is the Falcon Arrow off the apron.
He did do the deed, mate. He did the deed.
It's the fact that Kenny just hits with a dull thud. There's no like big noise or anything like that. He just kind of goes, and I was like, oh, that was a flat landing. Oh. You can tell the table spot was a Kenny moment because Pac had a Kenny planning moment. And I'm guessing Pac was meant to pull the black arrow off through the table. Instead, he does a shooting star press. It's a little short, but we forgive it because of the matches.
Poor head, mate.
Then the Bucks interfere, meaning Pac should win. That should have made it 2-1, just saying. Mm-hmm. Imagine being confident enough as a human being, having stripped away so much of your like self-preservation that you could perform a 360 flip in both directions from about 5 and a bit foot up, knowing you're going to land on a man's knees.
Mate.
Imagine having that confidence.
I don't.
This match just didn't let up. There was another... there's been a moment I've complained about in a lot of AEW matches recently, which is somebody is on the shoulders. They've gone backwards and done a Poison Rana out of nowhere. This is where it first fucking happened. Kenny tries to get back up and he Poison Ranas him. I fucking love Poison Ranas. More of them. This is the point where I can't be tired or annoyed by because it was new. Pac's fucking swinging DDT is gold and he should bring that back to his moveset. He does it twice in this match and it's amazing both times. The rolling through on the Brutalizer was just fucking immense when he rolls through and then he rolls it back into the Brutalizer. Then they roll to the ropes. Then we get a draw, which should have been another point to Pac, making it 3-1. There's no way he'd have released that Brutalizer if he knew it was going to sudden death. But in honesty, as much as I am nitpicking, the comeback from Kenny is great. He goes straight into it, all knees, pulls out the fucking Kamagoye. Obviously, the one-winged angel. This match is immense. My boy was robbed, but this match is immense. I'd like to build it up or like add some artistic, poetic descriptives to this, but I don't think I need to. I think that like run through of the moves and what goes on is enough. It's just a phenomenally well-paced, brutal match that knows the weight of those pins in that count.
Yep.
Wonderful.
This is WrestleMania, not WrestleMania, fucking Wrestle Kingdom like final match. It's fucking fantastic. And the most ridiculous part of all of this is 3 days later, Kenny's in a pay-per-view match. You know? It's fucking ridiculous that he pulls this out before that. And it's just... Yes, the tag team. Yeah. Yeah.
Boy's
fucking...
a machine.
Yes, ridiculous. Shows why he's one of the best in the world. This is... if you wanted to show someone a wrestling match that didn't like wrestling, like for technical ability, this is probably one of the best matches you could possibly show them.
This was just an absolute phenomenal match. There is a link to it up on our Facebook page. I've re-edited the link so that you can actually watch it. This is a match, that is just so good.
Yep.
So
it's the correct use. Sorry, I'm gonna before
Yep.
you do the goodbyes. It's the correct use of the stipulation. Like last year, I watched that Randy versus Edge match that we relentlessly mock in jokes over and over again. The problem with that is it's the same problem with all. Or what's the term for the match where you have to fall over for a while?
I quit. No, I quit. Last man standing.
Last man standing.
Problem with last man standing matches is when people walk into the ring, they're automatically on 1/3 of their health. They take one move and they lie down. The ref's like, oh, they're up to 5, and they get up, and that fucking costs the pace of the match. An off problem with Ironman matches, they'll be on like 4 and 5 pins each at the end. This lends weight to those pins. Nobody got a pin before like 14 minutes in, I think. 14,
and
16
it took
minutes
someone
in.
being smashed in the face with a chair, then being put in one of the most devastating submission moves in the AEW to get a pin.
That's how you win a wrestling match in a regular wrestling match. If Kenny and Pac were having a regular wrestling match, you'd expect it to last at least 20, 30 minutes before someone was pinned and the match would end.
Mm-hmm.
If they did an Ironman match, I'd expect similar. I wouldn't expect anybody lying down for more than like 2 to 3 seconds at a time, because to keep somebody down for 10 seconds, normally you have to be 20, 30 minutes into the match. And this just plays on that. It's an Ironman match, but realistically, with the overall amount of pins, it doesn't fucking matter that it's an Ironman match. Only one pin is actually achieved in that match before the timeout. The other one thing is from Pac hitting him with a chair.
Yeah.
Treat it like a real match and add your stipulation. Don't have a stipulation which then has a match drawn around it. And this just fucking aces that. It's wonderful.
So, are you ready for me to roll the dice?
Roll the credit. Oh, the dice. Shit, who are we doing next?
Oh, it's a strange.
What is it?
It's Chucky T versus Swoggle.
Yes!
Oh my god! Oh my god.
I'm going to let you know, Morg, this might not be quite on the same tier.
I've been waiting for this one.
Someone else is going to have to do the play-by-play on this masterpiece.
Man, not doing the play-by-play for this.
Yeah, no,
travesty.
this is that's your job.
On the bright side, normally we'll explain the story on the way in and the setup to this match. I don't need to. I don't think there is any. I think Chucky T just wanted to fight a little person. Is that the correct definition these days?
Oh, God.
I don't mean to be offensive if it's not. I don't know. Terms change.
Oh, God. This match.
So, very quickly, because I wanted to ask, because we never got to review the Kenny Pac Ironman match. What score did you give it?
It's an S rank match. That's phenomenal. We had story going in because it was the only sort of time Kenny had been beaten by anybody. It was technically his vengeance. We had story. It was fucking show-stopping. It was only our second real display of Pac's skill. It was one of our first proper few displays of Kenny's skill, because obviously Pac was tagged in instead of Moxley at that first pay-per-view and beat Kenny, which nobody was expecting. Yeah, S rank. It's fucking gorgeous and wonderful, and I love it.
Muir?
Definitely S tier, mate.
That's all right then, because I gave it an S as well. Because I actually ranked this one because we'd never ranked it. Right, so that is our show. Thank you very much for listening. I'd like to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us at Wrestleopinionated on Spotify, Anchor.fm, and YouTube. Mr. Muir.
Thank you very much for listening. I hope that you'll enjoy Swoggle versus Chucky T as much as I'm going to. And if you'd like to send anything in to us, please do. We always like to discuss different things, which is at WrestleOpinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOp on Facebook, and WrestleOp1 on Twitter. Over to you, Strange.
Hello there, listeners. You may not always watch the matches we recommend, and you may have already seen some of them, but I wholeheartedly recommend you go watch Chucky T versus Swoggle. It's PWG, it's on YouTube, just to hear these two talk about it next week, because it's wonderful. Anyway, thank you very much for your time and listening to us. Do like, share, subscribe, hit that little bell button. I've got to say YouTube for the algorithm. I don't know what it is on Anchor, on Spotify, keep it all like up. We do like to have any input you can. I work best with improv, as my co-hosts know. But yeah, send in your stuff. Thank you very much for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Back to you, Morg.
All that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.